Hello, this is Lucas, and this is the first video of my MySQL tutorial playlist. So in this playlist, I'm gonna go over what MySQL is and every single thing that we can do with MySQL. So the first thing is you need to make sure that you have MySQL installed. Now it is free. That you can look up online and install it. If you need a video explaining how to install it, if you're having trouble, please let me know in the comments and I'm happy to make a video on how to install MySQL. But for now, we can get started with MySQL. So what is MySQL? MySQL is a relational database management system. It's not actually a database. What it is it allows us to interact with a database. Okay. It is completely free, it's open source, and it is very efficient for small and large applications. Okay, so once we open up the MySQL command line client, you'll be asked for your password that you have created once you have set up MySQL. So let's just put in the password that we have created, and then we are given the next step, which is MySQL. We can start writing our queries. So to start off, we can check what databases we have. So we can check just by doing show databases, and we can check if we have any databases created. So I have a few created already, but we are going to create a new one. And to create a new database, all we have to do is do a create database, and we can give it any name. So I'm just going to name it YouTube. Okay, and make sure you use a semicolon at the end, because MySQL requires a semicolon at the end of your query, just so it understands that your query is finished. Then we can press enter and we will get a query OK, one row affected. What that means is we have created our database. And now if we do show databases, you will see that we will have a database created here, YouTube, that we haven't not had before. So you can see the last one that I had created is XNO, and this is the XNO. But once we created the database YouTube, it has been added to our databases. So now we need to select which database we need to use. Okay, so I want to use this database. So we can just write a simple use and then the name of your database, which is YouTube. And when we press enter, you will say database changed. So now we are using this database here. Okay, we are not using any other database. We are just assigned to this database. So now within the database, we can create tables, and tables are used for storing data. Okay, so to check what tables we have now, since we only created this database, we don't have any tables, but we can still check just by doing show tables, and you can see we have empty set. The reason is we don't have any tables created. So let's create a table, shall we? So to create a table, we will do create table. Now make sure you have used YouTube, because we can't create a table unless we are inside of a database. So let's do create table to create a table. Now we need to give our table a name. So I'm just going to write table 1. Okay, table 1. And now we need to give it a few values to create our table. So the way we'll do that is in brackets and then semicolon at the end. Here is where all of our data is going to be, or what type of data is going to go in here. So the very first thing is we are going to need the name of the column that we want. So let's say we want a column named person ID. So this is the ID of a person. Okay, or let's just do user ID. All right, so let's do user ID, and then we need to give it a value. So what type of data is going to be going in here? Is it going to be an integer? Is it going to be a character? Is it going to be a time? You know, we can have timestamps. But for now, we're just going to have just a normal integer, normal int. Okay, but then let's say we want some other one. So let's say we want the username. And the username is not going to be an int, it's going to be a string. So the way we do that is we do var char, and then we give a value of 255. Okay, make sure they're separated by commas. Right, so this is column number 1. This is the name of our column, of our very first column, and this is the data type of the data that is going to be going inside of this column. Same thing for this one. This is the name of our second column, and then this is the data type of the data that is going to be going inside of our second column. And then we can do one more. Let's do password. Password. Same thing. We'll do varchar 255, and just like this, we have created a table. Alright, the table name is table 1. We have 3 columns. Right, we have a column user ID, we have a column username, and then we have another column of password. And this is the data type of each column. So the very first column is going to be an int, alright, an integer. The second column is going to be a character, well, a var character or a string. And then same thing with the second one. You don't need to know what 255 means, but that's just the limit of the characters that we're allowed to have. So then if we press enter, you can now see we have a query OK, 0 rows affected. What that means is that we have just created our table. Now, we don't have any data in the table as of yet. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna show you how to create or how to add data in this video. But I'm gonna show you how we can check what kind of table we have created. So now, if we do show tables, you can see now whenever we do show tables. See before, when I ran the program, or when I ran show tables, we got an empty set because there was no tables. But now when I run show tables, you can see now we have a table here named table 1. We have the tables in, and then our database, which is YouTube. So the tables in the database YouTube. You can see then we have table 1. Okay. Obviously, if let's say we create another table, we name it table 2. You can see it is successfully created. And now if we do show tables, now you can see we have 2 tables. Now let's say that we want to see what kind of table this is. Right, the way we'll do that is we'll do describe, and then the name of our table, which is table 1, semicolon at the end, press enter, and now you can see the layout of this table. So this is the layout of table 1. So you can see that this is the field, which is user ID, which we have created here, user ID. Then we have the integer, or the type, which is an integer. Can it be null? Yes. Okay, so our values can be null. We can set that they can't be null later. Then we have key, default, and extra. We don't really need to worry about this as of yet. We'll go over this later. So this is column 1. Okay, this is our first column. And then this is our second column. And then this is our third column. Okay, so that's about it for this video. I went over how we can create databases and then tables. In the next video, I'm going to show you how we can actually add data into our tables. Okay, so stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.